Good morning, dear Sangha. Today is the 15th of June, 2014, and we are in the Assembly of Stars Meditation Hall of the Lower Hamlet, Plum Village during our 21-day retreat. If there are English-speaking Dharma teachers who are not in the hall, please come in. We have a dozen of places here. Les écouteurs, ça va? Dear Sangha, yesterday we said that everyone needs help, including the Buddha. The Buddha needs us to help him. He has so many things to do. And he has only 2 ears, and how can he listen to all the suffering in the world? He has only 2 arms, how can he act in order to help the world to suffer less? So we should help him. We should become his eyes, his ears, his hands, and so on. Not only the poor people suffer, but the rich people also suffer. Business leaders, they are quite wealthy, but they suffer quite a lot. So they want us to come and show them how to practice mindfulness so that they will suffer less. And they will succeed more in their business. And the question is whether we should teach mindfulness to business leaders in order to help them make more money. And there are those of us who say, why not? What is wrong with making money? And there are those who say that, they make money and they give jobs to many people and they provide people with the items that they need. So there are many kind of arguments as whether we should help business leaders to succeed, or we should not help them. And now we know that the military suffers also a lot. A lot of suicide, a lot of stress, a lot of doubt. And there has been a request to Dharma teachers to come and teach soldiers. And soldiers who are about to deploy, before deployment. There are Dharma teachers who say, I cannot do that. I cannot teach them to be more mindful, to be more concentrated, so that they can kill better. And there are those who argue that, well, if they are more mindful, they will not kill, they would be able to avoid killing civilians. They kill only the enemies, so that is already helpful. So the debate has started and is going on. Should we exclude the corporate people and the military people from the practice of mindfulness? But there are other professions like fishermen. They fish a lot, they destroy a lot of lives. The industry of meat, the manufacturer of weapons. Should we exclude all of them? So this is a big problem, whether mindfulness can benefit everyone or mindfulness can only benefit a certain categories of people. And that is why today we should have the time to go deep in that subject. And the question is whether we really understand what mindfulness is. And in the teaching of the Buddha, Channiyam, Samasati means right mindfulness. And if there is right mindfulness, there must be wrong mindfulness. And we have to distinguish between the two. This is what we should begin with. Chan means right. Sama, samyak in Sanskrit. Samyak smrti. And that is the opposite of Taniyam, which is Mitya Smrti. So what is the difference between right mindfulness and wrong mindfulness? One of the answers may be right mindfulness is not an instrument. It is a way and not an instrument. As an instrument, you may make use of it in different ways, like a knife. If you give someone a knife, he can make good use of the knife in order to chop the wood, cut the vegetable, and do good things. But someone can use the knife in order to kill, to rob. So mindfulness is not like a knife. that can do either good things or bad things. Mindfulness is not an instrument. It's not a tool. And many of us have thought that mindfulness is a tool. With mindfulness, we can heal. With mindfulness, we can reconcile. With mindfulness, we can make more money. With mindfulness, we can kill better the enemy. So one of the possible answers is that mindfulness is, first of all, not an instrument, not a tool, but a way. Because mindfulness is one of the 8 elements of the path. So it belongs to the path. It's called the right path. Samyak Magga. And if you take mindfulness out of the context of the path, it's no longer mindfulness. This is very important. That is the right path. Chánh đạo. Which begins with right view. And any kind of mindfulness that goes against the right view is not true mindfulness. And we know that right view is the view free from discrimination, hate, anger, fear. And if something that is against that does not carry right view, is not right mindfulness. Chánh đạo means Samyak Magga. This is the 4th noble truth. The 4th noble truth. Right path. The right and noble path. And the right noble path has mindfulness as one of the ingredients, of the constituents. The right path leads to happiness. It means it leads to the third noble truth. And the wrong path, tà đạo, is the opposite of the right path. You lead to the first, which is in suffering, first noble truth. So you can look at the second noble truth in terms of path, a wrong path. In the wrong path begins with wrong view, and before wrong view, what leads to wrong view is wrong mindfulness and wrong concentration. Wrong mindfulness, wrong concentration lead to wrong view. Wrong view lead to wrong thinking, wrong speech, and wrong action. So right mindfulness is found in the right path, noble path, and wrong mindfulness is found in the ignoble path. The ignoble path. the wrong path. This is very clear. So there must be a kind of distinction between the two kinds of mindfulness, right mindfulness and wrong mindfulness. And these terms are already existing during the time of the Buddha. If there is right mindfulness, there must be wrong mindfulness. And wrong mindfulness always go with wrong view and wrong thinking. So the kind of mindfulness that lead to wrong view, wrong thinking, wrong livelihood is not right mindfulness. And you can identify them without difficulties. And it's very helpful to think of mindfulness not as a tool, but a way. A good way or bad way. There are those who do not learn and practice mindfulness and right view, but they do have some mindfulness and right view. And they are not Buddhist. They don't need to be Buddhist in order to have some right view and some right mindfulness. During the war in Indochina, it is reported that soldiers of the two camps, the communist and the anti-communist camp, had to destroy each other. And that's the will of their commanders. But what happened is that soldiers of both sides, they didn't like to kill each other. It has been reported that the other side had come to the other bank of the river and stayed there. And on this side, the anti-communist soldiers stay and they see each other. But they never fire at each other. They stay for 1 hour and 2 hours quietly. Finally, in order to complete their duty, they shoot a lot on the air. And then they took out their picnic and they ate. And then they went home. That happens so many times in Laos. It means that these soldiers, they have right view. They don't know why they have to kill each other. They don't know why we have to kill and to be killed. They see that the other people, they are not enemies. They are just like us, pushed into the front line and kill and be killed. And why should we adapt that kind of view? So there is mindfulness. And mindfulness has insight in it. Where there is mindfulness, there is insight. The insight is that the other people, they are victims of the war, they are pushed to come, forced to come and kill and be killed. And we are also have been forced to come to kill and kill. That is right view. And that right view, you cannot take it, remove it from mindfulness, because mindfulness has already right view in it. And in Plum village, you have learned so many times that the energy of mindfulness carries within itself the energy of concentration and insight. Suppose we practice breathing in, I know I am alive. So mindful of the breathing, bring the insight that you are alive. Many people are alive, but they do not know that they are alive. Therefore, they don't enjoy the fact of being alive. So insight is something that can come right away with mindfulness. And mindfulness without insight is not true mindfulness. So those soldiers who refuse to fire on each other, they have mindfulness and they have the insight, and that upset their commanders a lot. We learned that during the Second World War, that happens also. It is reported that from 75 to 80% of soldiers behave like that. That's very upsetting for the generals, the commanders. And that is why now they are trying to train the military in order for them not to have that kind of insight and mindfulness. They try to another kind of mindfulness and insight that looks like a wrong mindfulness, wrong insight. And they think of mindfulness and concentration as instruments, as tools, in order to help the military stronger and carry out better the job of destroying the enemy. And that is the intention of the leaders of the army. And if we come and if we help them realize that aim, we are not truly teaching right mindfulness. Suppose a soldier after deployment stay in his post and he practices breathing in and out in order to be aware that his enemy is right there in front of him, hidden. And if he does not kill the enemy, and the enemy will kill him. So that is also a object of mindfulness. The end, breathing in, I know the enemy is there. Breathing out, I have to kill him, otherwise he is kill me. And the practice is motivated by fear, by the will to survive, and by the wrong view. If you don't see that the people on the other camp is enemy, and then you cannot truly you cannot truly kill. So you have to be instructed again and again is that these people, they are enemies, they are evil, they are the enemies of our nation, of our national security. They are against our national interests, and without them, we will be much better off. You have to be instructed like that in order for the soldiers to have the will to kill. Like during the war, the Vietnam War, the GI were instructed that communism is so dangerous. If you allow Vietnam to be felt under the communists, and then the communists will take over all the Southeast Asia, and then we go to New Zealand, Australia, and very soon to America. So it is the fear behind that motivates that kind of view. Now America is doing business with Vietnam. And in the present moment, looking back at the past, we see that pouring a lot of money and poisons and guns and human life into Vietnam was not intelligent, not right view at all. And millions of people have been victims of wrong views. The wrong view of the political leaders has led to the killing, destruction of human lives and environment and so on. A better view may be to offer assistance to both South Vietnam, North Vietnam, both the communists and anti-communists, to rebuild the country and to improve the economic situation, education and things like that. And America would spend much less money in helping both the North and the South to become happier as countries, and they win many friends. And that should be a better view, a good view, a right view, right view. In order to make a soldier a better killer, you have to instruct him, to give him that kind of view. He has to believe that without that enemy you will be better off. Your country will be better off. I remember that one time President Bush said something like that, Mr. Osama bin Laden, without you the world will be a better place. So we have to eliminate. And the policy still continues. If we see some people who are dangerous for our security, our national interests, and then we have to look for ways, to eliminate them by one way or one another, legally or illegally. When you are a Dharma teacher, and if you are invited to instruct the soldiers on mindfulness, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot say that your job is to kill the enemy, and you need some mindfulness and concentration in order to do better your job. You cannot say like that, because that in mindfulness is an instrument and not the path. The second thing that goes along with the first is that mindfulness is not an instrument; it is a way. The second is that mindfulness has the nature of interbeing with other elements of the path. This is very important. Mindfulness without insight cannot be true mindfulness, cannot be right mindfulness. And the soldiers in Laos, although they have not been instructed in mindfulness and insight, but they had the insight that the people on the other camp, they are just like us. They have been forced to come and kill and be killed. That is insight. They are victims of the war. And you don't want to be victims of the war. And therefore they refuse to fight. And they fight on the air. So they are mindful and they are insightful. And we have learned that mindfulness is already insight. Mindfulness is already enlightenment. We already quoted that exercise, breathing in. I'm aware that I'm alive. So the fact of breathing in mindfully bring the insight that you are alive. And to be alive is a wonderful thing. You don't need to practice 10 days, 10 years in order to have insight. Mindfulness is already insight. Mindfulness carries within itself insight. Right mindfulness has right insight in it. And if you have the right insight, you cannot do wrong. With right insight, you have right action. You do wrong action only when you have wrong insight, wrong view. Right view is insight. When you have right view, what you think is right thinking. What you speak is right speech. And what you do is right action. And right view is born from right mindfulness. So if you instruct them right mindfulness, they will have right view. So there is nothing dangerous about teaching soldiers about mindfulness. They imagine that if the soldiers learn mindfulness, and they go make use of mindfulness only when they are deployed, because mindfulness and concentration will help them in order to be more calm, more concentrated, so that they can perform the act of killing in a better way. That's not the truth. When you instruct someone on mindfulness, that someone should know how to breathe, to walk, to be aware of the feeling, to be aware of the emotion, to be aware of the fear, the anger. And when you're aware of these things, you get the insight into these things. And right insight always help you to avoid wrong thinking, wrong speech, and wrong action. And therefore, we should write down in order to remember, first of all, mindfulness is not a tool. But a path. Not a means. To help you to arrive at an end. Is not a means to get an end. When you practice breathing in mindfully, your in-breath is not a means. Because if you know how to do it, and you get the pleasure, the peace, the healing, right while you are breathing in. There is no distinction between means and end. Because in that act of breathing in, if you suffer, if you think that I have to suffer breathing in and not to arrive at something better, that is not right mindfulness. There is no distinction between means and ends and means, because it is the path. The path is made of steps. And every step is the path. Every step has a right mindfulness, right insight, right views, right action, right thinking, right speech. And one in-breath is a step. And in that step, you may find relaxation, peace, concentration, insight. And it is not a tool, an instrument. And in Plum, we always remind each other that you practice in such a way that you get the peace, the calm, the brotherhood, the joy right away. Whether you sit or you walk, you breathe, you cook, you sweep the floor, mindfulness make all these things pleasant and offer you insight and joy and peace. Mindfulness is not an instrument. And then mindfulness into ease with right view, and so on. You have the right livelihood. If you have right mindfulness, you have right view. And with right view, you cannot continue with wrong livelihood anymore. You suffer. In order to be happy, you have to abandon your wrong livelihood and take up another kind of job that can help you express your compassion, your respect of life, and so on. So that is a noble path. Everything in our path is noble. Everything is an end by itself, not a means. So this, suppose this circle represents mindfulness. And if it is mindfulness, it has concentration inside. When you are very mindful of something, you are naturally concentrated on that thing. You are mindful of your in-breath, you concentrate on your in-breath. And mindfulness and concentration carry within themselves the third energy, insight. Mindfulness, concentration, insight. The three trainings. And if mindfulness, concentration, insight are there, and then the 5 other elements are there also. The 5 other elements of the path are also in there. Because with these 3, the thought you produce are right thinking. Because on the base of right view, there cannot be wrong thinking. Right view is a kind of insight that is free from discrimination, isolation, and so on. Insight is the vision of interbeing, the vision of interdependent origination. And based on that kind of right view, no self, interbeing, you are free from all kind of discrimination. So with that kind of insight, you cannot perform right action, you cannot utter right speech, you cannot produce wrong thinking, you cannot perform wrong action, you cannot perform wrong speech, and you do not produce wrong thinking. So that is why we have to remember to emphasize on the nature of interbeing between mindfulness and the rest of the path, and the other elements of the path. We are no longer afraid of mindfulness, of mindfulness being misused, being naturalized, because right mindfulness can never be harmful, because of the fact that right mindfulness has within itself right view. And with right view, you can never do wrong. Because the military suffers. That is why they also need help. So there is nothing wrong to help them to suffer less. And mindfulness, right mindfulness, if you offer to them, you will help them. You will help them to generate feelings of joy and happiness. Because mindfulness helps us to go home to the present moment and recognize that you have so many conditions of happiness. And soldiers, like all of us, the rest of us, are capable of recognizing the wonders of life, of nature, the conditions of happiness that are already there, and then they can generate feelings of joy and happiness for their nourishment and healing. When you instruct the soldiers on mindfulness, they will be able to recognize their fear, their anger, their despair, so that they will suffer less. They learn how to suffer less. To create joy, happiness, and to suffer less. First, to create a feeling of joy and happiness. Second, to suffer less. And while practicing these on these two levels, they deepen and they get the right view. Right view. First of all, what is true happiness? And what is not? What is not true happiness? What is happiness? Because when you enlist yourself into the army, a professional army, you think that the life in the army is easier. You can be happier as a soldier. And that's your idea of happiness, your insight, your view of happiness. But when you are instructed how to walk, how to breathe, how to sit, how to smile, how to hold your anger, your fear, you begin to taste real happiness. You begin to have a taste of true happiness. And you compare. And suddenly you change your view on happiness. In the beginning you thought that to be a soldier, you get more than if there are many privileges that a soldier can get, and you think that that can bring you happiness. But now you suffer a lot, and you begin to doubt. Intentional come and instruct you how to breathe, how to walk, how to recognize the beauties of nature, the wonders of life, how to savor one in-breath. Is that suddenly you wake up and you recognize what is true happiness, and you change your view from the wrong view of happiness. You get the right view of happiness, and you change your motivation. So if you are a good instructor on mindfulness, you should not be afraid. It can only do good, and it may happen slowly. It should happen like that, gradually. What is my concern is that we should help at the same time the superiors, the commanders, the chief of staff, the Pentagon, the policy makers, because as our political leaders have wrong view on happiness, on national security, on national interest, and then many young people like us will continue to be victims of. We are forced to kill and to be killed. There are better ways to secure national interest and security than using violent means. And we who know what is right mindfulness, we have to come and help. Otherwise, they will train their own instructors on mindfulness. Breathing in, I know my enemy is there. I have to kill him. Breathing out, I pull the trigger. That is mindfulness and concentration based on wrong view. But you who are instructors of mindfulness, you don't teach like that. You don't urge them to abandon their job. You come in order to help them to suffer less only. And why they suffer less? They get the right view as what true happiness is, and everything will change by itself. So my conclusion is that we should not exclude anyone from the practice of mindfulness. Last week, two gentlemen from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Paris came to visit us, and I asked them, this practice of mindfulness can help so many young people to suffer less, and school teachers to suffer less. We are trying to bring this practice into schools. We have been training school teachers in many countries so that they can bring this practice into the classroom and help the students to suffer less. And when the students suffer less, the teachers will suffer less also. There will be better communication, goodwill, and the job of teaching and learning become much easier. But in France, they speak of laïcité. They forbid anything that has a religious appearance to penetrate into the public places. So, can you help us how to bring this kind of teaching to a larger public, especially in hospitals, in schools, and so on? We have organized retreats for police officers, personals of administration of prisons and so on. And we found out that the practice of mindfulness helped them tremendously because they suffer quite a lot. Yesterday, it was reported that a young man of 16 was killed by a policeman. And we found out that not only the young man needs help, but the policeman also needs help. So the practice of mindfulness should be available to everyone. And we do not have enough Dharma teachers. We have to deepen our practice. We have to improve our way of teaching so that our practice and teaching will truly be the practice and teaching of true mindfulness, right mindfulness. And we have to train instructors of mindfulness. Thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them. So we need the practice of mindfulness everywhere. And we know that we do not need to call ourselves a Buddhist in order to practice. The only concern is that mindfulness should stay right mindfulness. And that depends on our practice and our learning. And in that way, we are not afraid of mindfulness will be denaturalized, and it cannot no longer help people. The teaching of mindfulness, if poorly understood, will not be able to serve people. And already so many people think of mindfulness as an instrument. Many spiritual traditions have come from the East to Europe and to America. And the way here we handle them here can denaturalize them because we are used to dualistic thinking. The creator is not the creature, the subject is not the object. And we secularize in nature all these spiritual elements that we have brought back from Asia, including Christianity. Christianity has come from the East, and the thinking, the teaching and the practice of Christianity in the West is quite dualistic now. The one who prays and the one who is prayed to are two distinct entities. God is outside of me and I am outside of God. And in the original teaching, God is in me and I am in Him. We interact. So the same thing might happen to happiness. and it is happening to mindfulness. Mindfulness is no longer the path of happiness, of transformation. Mindfulness has become an instrument to serve your purpose of making more money, of becoming a better killer, and so on. So that is why as instructors on mindfulness, we have to be aware of this. And these are a few reminders. Mindfulness is not an instrument. It's not a means to get to an end. Mindfulness cannot be separated from view. Right mindfulness cannot be disconnected with right view. If you have right mindfulness, you have right view. You change your view. First of all, your view of happiness. So last winter, a journalist came from London and interviewed Thay about the problem of the practice of mindfulness in corporate world. Is it good to bring happiness, the practice of happiness into the corporate world, helping people to make money? Because any business leader would like to be number one in the area, and are we helping them to have more ambition, to satisfy their ambition and so on. And by doing so, we are denaturalizing the teaching of mindfulness. And they gave a short answer. If it is right mindfulness, and then it will help them to get the right view as what is true happiness and what is not true happiness. And when they get the right view, they change the motivation. Instead of willing to become number one, they want to be truly happy. And in a meeting, in a session of taking place in the World Bank, they said that you have to choose between the two things: to become number one or to be happy. And when you instruct them about the practice of mindfulness, they will begin to taste true happiness and freedom and love. And naturally they will change their view and they will change their motivation. Do you have any questions? I guess there are many questions. Please bring a microphone. You know that in 1994, in Rwanda, people were killing each other. The Hutus and the Tutsis, they are killing each other. And 1 million of people died just in 1 year. And there was a peacekeeping force, UN peacekeeping force in Rwanda. And the commander-in-chief of that UN peacekeeping force asked for permission to use his small army unit in order to intervene and end the killing between the Hutu and the Tutsis. But he was declined the permission. He believed that if he had the right to use his small unit of peacekeeping force, then he could have prevented the killing of each other by the two groups. 1 million people died. And then that general who commanded the UN keeping force in Rwanda, he got depression. He regret that he did not take the initiative to intervene even without the permission. I could have taken action to prevent the killing, even if after that I was discharged from my post. But I did not do it, so now I regret. What happened if he used his forces? Maybe some people will be killed. But by doing that, 1 million people life can be saved. So we are not saying that the army should not be there, but the army should be able to practice right action. Right action. We are not dogmatic on anything. Yesterday there was a very interesting question about criminals. Death penalties and so on. And we have said that everyone needs help and not punishment. Even the Buddha need help. So the criminals, they need help. Before they act as a criminal, they had not been helped by their parents, their teachers, their friends. If they had been helped by us, they would not have committed the crime. And now they have committed the crime. They also need help. You don't need punishment. And if a young man become a criminal because we have not taken good care of him, and now if he got arrested and put into the prison, he need also help. And motivation. If someone is killing, is destroying, we can arrest him and put him into prison. That's what we need to do. So the military, the police have a task, have a duty. The essential is that we do it with love. I have to arrest you, I have to lock you up so that you won't have to go deeper in your bad action, wrong action. That is to help him. And during the time he is held, in the prison, he should learn. This is a chance for him to begin anew and to become a better person. And funds and personnel should be provided by the government, by the society, in order to teach these people, to help these people how to see, how to get the insight of true happiness, how to handle the suffering, the anger, the fear, the craving, how to have a healthy moments of joy and happiness. And that is what we should do for inmate of prison. And do we have instructors to do that? Instructors of mindfulness? We don't have. The administration of prisons, they don't know about that kind of practice. And they suffer a lot also. And they cannot handle the inmates of prison with gentleness and compassion. And both the prisoners and keepers of prisoners suffer. So the practice of mindfulness should be able to help both sides. But we do not have people to come and help. And maybe we are not allowed to come and help. And I have said that the term in prison depends on the need to transform and to heal. Because it is locking people up is not a punishment, but an act of love. So we have to provide them with means in order for them to work on themselves and transform them into a happy person, a good person. And if the person transforms quickly, can show his compassion, his joy, his happiness, and then we can allow him to get out and join a good team of workers. In the old time, Buddhist temples had the permission to receive prisoners and take care of them. They are to work for the temples, cultivating the land, and they live under the supervision of the monks. They practice 5 mindfulness trainings, and the monks have to take good care of them. The monks are doing that job, trying to change, to transform the person of the prisoner. And then if they are doing well, and then they will try to help them to set up a family, having a plot of land, and continue to live happily. And then the success of the monks in taking care of the prisoners will cause the administration to give the decree that this man has already served his term and he's now a free person. And that we did in the past. And now we can do it more systematically. We can train people in order for them to instruct the prisoners to practice, in order for the prisoners to transform and change and learn how to live happily and become a good member of society. And the time they need to be depends on their progress. I think all of that has to be reflected on.
Dear Thay, dear Sangha, my name is Laurie and I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I work with a group that helps to bring mindfulness to schools, kindergarten to grade 12. And so studies show that mindfulness has many benefits for children. And one of the benefits, in addition to reducing stress and all sorts of benefits to help reduce their suffering, is that it improves academic performance. And it seems to me that that's something that the schools are very interested in, but it's also instrumental, right? So I'm not sure if it's right action to be promoting mindfulness for schools by saying that it improves academic performance. Because that sounds like the same thing as saying it helps soldiers shoot better. I wonder what your views are on that.
With the practice of mindfulness, the school teachers will suffer less. They know how to create feelings of joy and happiness to nourish themselves. They know how to handle feelings, emotions that are painful. They know how to listen with compassion in order to help another person to suffer less. They know how to use loving speech in order to help people to reconcile with each other. And when the teachers put that kind of practice and share that kind of practice to the students will suffer less and achieve what the teachers have achieved. Suppose the act of compassionate listening, because the teachers know how to listen to themselves and to his members of his family deeply and help them speak out and suffer less. They can do it with their students. The students, although they are young, but many of them suffer deeply. They have not had a chance in their family. It may be a broken family where father and mother fight and make each other suffer. So the child has no chance. So school is his or her second chance. So the teacher can play the role of a parent. They can look with compassionate eyes. That can speak with loving speech. That can listen with compassion. And you can train the young people in the class to listen to each other. Suppose a young man in a class suffers because he's a family situation and he is not able to listen to the teaching and to do his exercise. He just cannot do it because he is being burdened by the suffering. So the teacher may say, now, dear friends, John has big problems. He has a lot of suffering, and he cannot, even if he has goodwill, he has no capacity to study and to do his exercise. And let us try to listen to his problem, his question with compassion. So we invite everyone to listen. And when we listen like that, with compassion, that young man suffer less. Other boys, other girls say that, well, we support you, we know you're suffering, but try your best to study. And whatever we can do in order to help you improve the situation, please tell us, and we do do it for you as a friend. So that can be tremendously helpful to that person. And in that way, we train everyone in the class in the art of compassionate listening. And the teacher has to be able to listen to the suffering of the students. And if he has that capacity to listen, and then the students will see in him a friend, a loving father, a loving mother. And with that, the study and the teaching will become much easier. Then if you know how to listen to your students, you become their friends. And they will be able to sit down and listen to your suffering, because school teachers have their own suffering. So communication between teachers and students become good. There is a mutual understanding. And therefore, they don't make each other suffer anymore. And the quality of learning and teaching will be improved. Academic performance will be much better. A good teacher can show his students, her students, how to walk mindfully and release the tension. He can lead a total relaxation session, and he can train his students to do the same. And when the student has learned that and suffer less, he can go home and help his father, his mother, his siblings to suffer less. And we have the experience that young people attending our retreats, many of them have gone home and helped their parents to transform and restore communication and reconcile with their parents. So not only it can improve the quality of teaching and of learning, but we can get a deeper insight about the program of learning and teaching as, given to us. Whether that teaching, that learning is really helpful to bring happiness. Because we may be learning the things that are not truly helpful, and there are many helpful things we don't have a chance to learn. Like in school, they don't teach you how to handle your strong emotions, how to take care of your anger, your painful feeling, how to restore communication and reconcile with other people. All these things are very important to learn. So it can help change the program of studies. Because we have got a right view on happiness. What is the use of learning if that learning does not bring you happiness? Learning, to get a diploma, to have a job is not all the aim of learning. It is a means, and to have the view that if you do not have a diploma, if you do and you would not have a good job and you will not be happy, that view may not be a right view. And most of us are caught in that view. I know a mother who wants her daughter to become a medical doctor. And her daughter did not like it at all. She didn't like to become a medical doctor, but that is the deepest wish of the mother. So she suffered a lot trying to go to medical school, and after she got the diploma, she gave it to her mother and said, "That I have that, paid your debt. I go and become a musician because I like music." So we should have the right view as what is true happiness. And if we have the right view what is true happiness, and then the Ministry of Education will have to revise its education system to educate people in such a way that they can be truly happy. Because we have our young people, they have to learn too much in order to be able to get to graduate, to have a diploma, and during that time they get stress, tension, suffer. They have to compete. They have no time to live their life happily. And if during the 4 years or the 6 years of studies, they have no happiness, and then after graduation having a job, they would not have happiness either. Happiness is to be learned. Happiness is a habit. So the whole, we have to review the whole education system. We can perform a deep change with the practice of mindfulness. Not only we suffer less, but we can change the world by changing the collective view into the right view. So a right view of mindfulness, a right view of happiness, a right view on national security, a right view of national interest is very important. And practicing right mindfulness will help bring that kind of right view. And if you can make it into a collective view, and then we have a lot of hope. Because when we have right view, we don't do wrong things anymore. We don't produce thoughts of hate and anger and despair anymore. Another question, please. Larry. He has a question.
I think my question is, how could we my question is, particularly for the military, is how could we develop a Plum Village chaplaincy program? The military in the United States, from the university where I worked, has accepted chaplains, Buddhist chaplains, for the first time. And Buddhist chaplains are a growing part of the U.S. military that the military is requesting. And so I think if we could design a mindfulness curriculum for Buddhist chaplains, that would be a wonderful contribution. So my question is, how could we?
I think that if Dharma teachers sit together, we can find out the way. But it is possible to do that. But please answer this question. If a Buddhist chaplain teach mindfulness to the military, and if the people who learn mindfulness abandon their view and get the right view and become conscious objector, would they accept? Because would they accept us to continue teaching like that?
So far, they've been accepting it. And the reason is, in conversations I've had with some people in the military who are higher up, is they don't think the purpose of the military is to kill. They think the purpose of the military is to build. And so to help out in disasters, to help build schools, to help redesign society. So there is a group in the military who has right view already. And they're trying to get other people like Buddhist chaplains in the military to help support the right view they already have. And if we do it quietly enough, long enough, it will be changed before anybody can stop it. That's my hope anyway.
Quietly and quickly. Please, if you have any insight, contribute. This is the time, this is the occasion to deal with this important theme.
Dear Thay, dear Sangha, I've lived and worked in Washington, D.C. for 45 years. And I know that the institutions in Washington can be very seductive, that one enters with good intentions, but over time, one starts believing the values of the institutions, whether it's the military or the contracting firms that do much of the work. And my thought is that what's needed is not only thousands of Dharma teachers, but thousands of Sanghas to support those Dharma teachers. That I don't worry about you teaching the military. I don't worry about the Plum Village monastics teaching the military. But if Dharma teachers go as individuals, it becomes very seductive to get a promotion, to get comfortable in that life. And to behind or with every Dharma teacher has to be a very strong Sangha to help them not become part of the institution they enter to change.
To repeat the question from our Dharma teacher, Mitchell. Mitchell has been living and working in Washington, D.C. for more than 35 years. And he has a lot of faith that these teachings can indeed help. And he has a lot of trust and confidence in Thay and the monastics. Indeed, in any Dharma teacher to offer these teachings where that Dharma teacher is supported by a Sangha. So Mitchell is expressing a concern that a Dharma teacher teaching, for example, the military mindfulness may be seduced by promotion or better payment and may get a little bit corrupted by that environment and may not be able to protect their inner values unless they are supported by a Sangha. So Mitchell is asking how...
That we need thousands of strong Sanghas as well as thousands of Dharma teachers.
So Mitchell is proposing and asking for Thay's support that we have thousands of Sanghas to support the thousands of Dharma teachers that we need.
A Dharma teacher has his physical body, and he has his Sangha body. If he doesn't have a Sangha body, he's not a true Dharma teacher. He has his Dharma body and his Sangha body. And he operates not as an individual, but as a Sangha. He has been sent by the Sangha to that post. And everyone in the Sangha is aware of what is going on. And if they notice that you do not perform as a good Dharma teacher, you have ambition, you want to give up to fame, profits, privileges, and then the Sangha will call you home and send another one. And you'll be retrained again. In Plum Village, when some organization invite us to come and organize a retreat or a Dharma talk, Well, they don't invite us as a person, a personal Dharma teacher, but they invite Plum, and the Sangha sit down and appoint a group of people going together, and we have the second body system, and I think if monastic Dhamma teachers have a second body, and then lay Dhamma teachers should have a second body also, to help him, to help her stay on the right path. The second body is like someone representing the whole Sangha. See? So everywhere you go, the Sangha is with you, supporting you. Of course, it would be wonderful to build thousands of Sanghas. But first of all, we have to start by building one Sangha. We have to learn the art of Sangha building. To build a community of practice is a very noble thing to do. And the Buddha devoted all his life into building a Sangha. He had difficulties also. But King Prasenajit recognized that the Sangha of the Buddha is his masterpiece. Because without the Sangha, Buddha cannot achieve, realize his dream of helping living beings. So the Sangha begins with the Dharma teacher and her partner, members of his family. And there should be a happy family Sangha before it can be extended into a community of many families. And if that is a harmonious Sangha with brotherhood, sisterhood, and joy, and then that could be a refuge from so many people. And a Dhamma teacher belonging to such a community have a lot of chance to succeed. And everything he does, that is the work of the whole Sangha. And in Plum we try to follow that principle. We operate as a Sangha, not as an individual. One more question.
Cher Thay, cher Sangha, je m'appelle Michel. Je voudrais juste signaler que depuis quelques mois, à la demande du ministère de la Justice, par l'intermédiaire de l'Union bouddhiste de France, il y a eu un aumônier bouddhiste général nommé, et il y a des aumôniers bouddhistes qui se sont engagés, mais malheureusement, pour l'instant, ils sont tous d'une autre tradition bouddhiste que la nôtre. Et nous avons vraiment besoin de votre soutien et du soutien de la communauté monastique pour que des enseignants du Dharma et des pratiquants s'engagent comme aumôniers bouddhistes pour entrer dans les prisons. Il y a aussi la même chose qui se passe dans les hôpitaux. Et maintenant, nous pouvons très officiellement rentrer en tant qu'aumôniers bouddhistes dans les prisons et dans les hôpitaux. Et ce mouvement en France, il faut vraiment le développer et nous avons besoin de l'aide de votre aide et de l'aide de la communauté monastique pour que dans notre tradition, nous prenions ce chemin-là.
Dear Thay, dear Sangha, our new French Dharma teacher, Michel, was sharing that the French Ministry of Defense has been in contact with the official French Buddhist Union here in France, and we have many members of our Sangha who are part of that organization. And the Ministry of Defense has reached out to invite us to become chaplains in prisons. And so that door is officially open to practitioners in our Sangha, and especially Dharma teachers. And the same thing has happened with the hospital system, the healthcare system here, to have hospital chaplains, Buddhist hospital chaplains in our tradition. So Michelle is expressing an open invitation for those who would be interested to engage in that, and is also requesting Thay's support. Michelle also shared that those who are active as Buddhist chaplains in prisons and hospitals at this time are from other traditions. So if we would like our tradition to be represented, that is something that we need to be able to step forward to do together.
I guess that we cannot do everything at the same time. It's good that our people who are taking care of that. But if you have some time, we can support them. We can meet with them, we can write them letters. We can offer our ideas. And they are doing that for us also. We should show our support to them. We can invite them to come to Plum Village, and they may see some good things in Plum Village they can incorporate into their job of helping the people in prisons and hospitals and so on. But we should also prepare ourselves, because ours is engaged Buddhism. We should be present everywhere. And our presence in the hospitals and in prisons should not be just charity work. It is spiritual offering, and with the practice of mindfulness, we can help not only patients to suffer less, but nurses and doctors to suffer less. In prison also, not only help the inmates, but also the prison keepers to suffer less. And we have some experience on that we can share. But it is a good thing to know what is going on and how our friends in other traditions are doing their job, so that we can offer some suggestions and so on. Even we can send our monks and nuns and lay teachers to come and help them, ask them whether they need some help. Dear friends, if you have come up with a song, 2 songs, 3 songs, a verse, 2 verses and 3 verses, please give it to the facilitator in your group. Even if you have given Thay 1 copy, you have to give it 1 copy to your facilitator. And together we will have a list complete list of all these offerings, and we should seek for an opportunity to present a number of them in the larger sangha. Please think of a meeting where we can do so joyfully.